All right, hello. We are here to play Alien. My name's Jason. I use he, him pronouns. This is session 2 of 5, and we are playing this through the Gauntlet. And the Gauntlet is an online gaming community. You can check us out at gauntlet-rpg.com. You can see our forum there. You can go onto YouTube and you can watch hundreds of our actual play videos of dozens of different games. Check us out if you like what we're doing. Maybe join. As I mentioned, we're here to play Alien. This is a game from Free Illegan. We played session 1 last week. We're here for session 2 today. We're just going to go around the table real quick and have you guys introduce yourself with your pronouns, your character with your pronouns, and remind us who your character's buddies and rivals are. We had a pretty rich first session of developing these buddy and rival situations. And just remind us who your buddy and your rival is if you have them. I think it is this week. Will, it is your turn to go first. Tell us about yourself and your character.
Hi, well, my name is Will, pronouns he, him, as are those of my character, Noah Immelson, the medic slash, chemical assistance provider for Mr. Darius. And yeah, he's a bit of, I guess so far, he's a bit of the weak link of the party, given that he's the only one who seems to be bothered by things like dropships or discomfort or anything like that. Everybody else is too militaristic or optimistic for this to bother them, I think. And yeah, his buddy is Darius because, he's employed by him. He helps him get through those difficult nights. And his rival is Brian, who's got a stick so far up his ass, it might as well be in orbit.
All right. Paul, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Paul, pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Darius Park, also he, him. And I am a self-made trillionaire, billionaire. I'm a rich kind of guy. I've come to this world to get my reward from the main man himself, Mr. Rich. And my buddy is Bryant, who is technically my brother-in-law, and he's the brother of my dead wife. And I actually don't have a rival. I wouldn't have employed somebody if I didn't like them. So that's where I am.
All right. And Alan, tell us about yourself.
My name is Alan. I use he, him, as does Bryant, my character. He's the captain of Darius Park's private spaceship, his yacht, and captained us here. But he's slightly insecure. His background is he was a decorated Marine captain, I think. But he's now qualified to run a starship without having much actual hands-on starship experience. So he's afraid, I think, of being undermined by members of his crew, such as Sitka Ramos, our pilot, who's we're going to find out what's happened to her in a moment. But he is buddies with Darius, his brother-in-law. Though I think he's beginning to realize that his wife, my sister, was the brains of the outfit and may have been the one who kind of generated all the ideas that have generated Darius's wealth.
Okay. And as Alan talked about, our fourth player isn't with us today. And hopefully we'll be back for session 3, but we're going to have a little bit of a script change of where we ended last week on our cliffhanger. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. So safety-wise, real briefly, this is a survival horror game. This is Alien. There's going to be violence. There's going to be some gruesome stuff. If you're uncomfortable with that, this may not be the video to watch. We're going to use safety tools. We're going to use the X card. If at any point any of us feel that anything's really uncomfortable, something you just don't want to deal with, throw that X up there. We'll rewind and we'll continue our game, hopefully allowing you to feel more comfortable. We're using lines and veils. Let me quickly check out, see what we got. For lines and veils, the safeties at the bottom. If you guys want to change anything today, you certainly may. We have a line on sexual assault and harm to children, and we have a veil on consensual sex and graphic torture. With that, let us get started with our game. So when we ended last time, we had you had arrived at the chalet, and let me switch the page to the lounge that you were relaxing in. And there's this big, sheer, transparent glass window that overlooks the park. You know, you're several hundred meters above the ground, and it overlooks the park below. And Darius was toasting, you know, your endeavor, and some blur of a large black something came flying at this window and slammed into it, and it rebounded off of it, all stunned and bewildered, and sort of spiraled down, you know, below your view. But before it disappeared, as it hit the window, it also pierced the window with this long bony tail. It has this tip, this very sharp metallic looking tip that pierced neatly right through this glass, and was going to scrape Darius. This is where we change our script. And instead, though, Sitka Ramos had leaped forward, and we'll say it, you know, she went to reach for it or something, or knock it away, and she did, but it sliced her hand and left this green goo kind of oozing in this shallow cut. And instead of Darius being the one that collapses, it is Sitka that collapses to the ground. You each stand there, you know, shocked, probably. And because of that, you each take you take a point of stress. So everybody put a stress on your character sheet, and everybody's got to make a panic roll. And again, if you look at your character sheet, in that right below where your name is, there's that spot. It says panic is the little hot button, the roll button. Click that for me. Let's see how everybody's doing. All right, we got a couple 7s. So 6 or below, you hold it together, but a 7 is where actually something happens. So Noah and Darius both get a 7. You both get a nervous twitch. Your stress level and those of all friendly PCs in short range of you increase by 1. So is anybody, let's handle Noah's first. Is anybody a rival of Noah's? I don't recall. No.
Bryant is a rival.
I think Sitka's your rival, right, Bryant? But your rival, Noah, is Bryant.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, yeah. Is anybody? Yeah, right.
Because what happens? Because you start twitching at seeing this, Noah, you gain a point of stress, and then everybody else gains a point of stress from Noah stressing. And since no one else has Noah as a rival, they can't ignore this. So Bryant and Darius both gain a point of stress. And at the same time, Darius starts to twitch also. So Darius, you gain a point of stress. And the other two gain a point of stress at seeing Darius, their leader, start to stress out. So you get a good sneak preview of the way this game, stress can blow up in this game very quickly because of these sort of cascade effects. And that brief moment passes, and I think I'll say Bryant. Bryant, maybe you're off to the side a little bit, so you got the best view of this black thing that hit this window. And it looks a lot like the horrible creature that is yet unnamed, this thing, that you saw stuffed, you know, on the wall down below in the foyer. And it's but it's bigger, and it's all black, and it seemed to have 4 spindly legs in addition to this mouth flap thing that it uses to fly / engulf its prey. It was all black, but the mouth was open wide as it hit the window, and it did have this sort of rainbow, a hint of this rainbow color in its mouth that you see in this creature. And in addition to all these horrible sharp teeth that it had, it also had even a smaller mouth with even more sharp teeth inside. Then the teeth were, razor sharp, but also had this metallic sheen to them. So it hit the window and it went spiraling away. And there you are. Noah, what's your quick reaction to all of this? What do you do? And Sitka has fallen to the ground.
Noah, rushes over Sitka and checks, has a hand on her neck, and he's going like, Sitka, and, shaking her and doing the medic-y thing, trying to make sure that she's still breathing.
Sure. Darius, what's your quick reaction?
I think go to the window and try and see where this thing fell.
Okay. And Brian?
I tried to stop Darius getting to the window. You don't go look at that.
And
it might come back. These things fly.
Yes, but it's taken down Sitka. We need to try and get it.
We'll go and get a gun.
Let's get the guns.
Right. Let's get that synth. Where's the goddamn synth?
Yeah, and she comes walking over. She glides over, and she has a dustpan and a broom, and she starts to clean up the glass that has fallen to the ground and smashed. Just quietly going about, tidying up. And your gun, I remember, Paul, you had gotten out your pulse rifle. So it's probably leaning up against a chair or something right nearby,
I'd like to yell at the synth. You, ring Yutani now. Come on, we need medevac.
And she kind of looks over at you blankly and just finishes what she does, and she stands up and she walks back into the kitchen.
Fucking things.
Let's try and get whatever that thing was. If it's outside, stunned on the floor, that can provide some insight of what's happened to.
You guys are nuts.
To Sitka.
And
just let it die.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Look, Darius. I get that you want to but we can defend ourselves from in here and try to contact Wayland Yutani. There must be some that, looking around, there must be some kind of comms here.
Yeah, but come on. That thing was small. We've got guns. Remember your past. Remember your training. We don't stand for none of this.
And my training says, defend your current location. Do not go off alone. Command.
I'm not saying let's go off alone. There's 3 of us here.
We sit tight, Darius. We assess the situation. We contact home base. We decide what the best route of action is. We do not charge off. Marine.
Who's the boss here, Brian?
I'll lob my pulse rifle down on the sofa and say, fine, if you want to sit this one out, but if she dies, it's on you, Brian.
I did not say sit out. I said we need to find the comms. Where are the comms in this place?
Let me catch up. So Noah, first of all, Sitka's her pulse is strong and even, and she looks delirious. Her eyes are what would they be? They're not bloodshot, but yeah. And all signs. She seems she's not in mortal danger, but she's clearly out of it. She's kind of muttering. And she's even a little bit ambulatory. So for game purposes, as we play today, you guys can kind of if you loan her a shoulder, you can kind of lead her along. So you're not going to physically have to fireman's carry her around the whole day, but she will slow you down.
There is, I remember there are bedrooms here, that we hadn't been in, right? I think Noah will, pick her up and steady her and say, "Come on, help me get her down to the bedrooms. We need to get her away from this glass, somewhere where she can just lie down."
Okay. And as you start to do that, and Bryant is where are the comms? And you look around, and there are no obvious, intercoms, electronics of any sort, actually. However, at that very moment, a screen drops down from the roof, the ceiling, and it comes down, and it briefly has the Weyland-Yutani logo on it, and then this guy appears once again. And he's sitting in this control room, the same place you saw him before, and he's got like some staff behind him, including that executive assistant in a very nice suit carrying a personal data pad, and he comes on and he goes, "Woo, that was exciting. I didn't expect him to start killing people this early." And the assistant leans in and talks in his ear, and he's, "What? They're not dead. She's not dead?" And he looks at like he's looking at like the screen, another screen in front of him, and he goes, "Well, I'll take care of that." And he goes, "Aha, here we go." And he pushes a button, and nothing happens at all. And the assistant leans in and says, whispers in his ear again. He goes, "Oh, Control F3," and he clicks it again, and then the window starts to rise up. The big window, the long window, it rises up into the wall, opening up this room to the elements. And that we talked about, it's a warm, humid air starts to flow into the room, and you hear this like unearthly screech kind of far off, and you see that there are some flyers, in the distance, don't seem to be approaching, pretty far away, and he goes, "Darius, it's going to be a pleasure to watch you get ripped apart by these things today. And those little drones are still there, and they're still, filming you. And these things are some right bastards. You wouldn't believe how many research labs I've lost when these things escape and kill everybody." And at that moment, behind him, these red lights start to flare, and sirens start to go off, and he goes, "Oh shit!" And the assistant leans in and talks in his ear, and he says, "Well, just get the escape pod ready. Let's go, or get the shop fired up." Well, I gotta go. Have fun.
That's right, Weyland. Start running, because when I get hold of you and my crew, you're a dead man.
He goes, "Okay, sounds good. Have fun, Darius." And he pushes a button, and the screen goes black, and the screen goes back up, and the woman, the synth, starts to like set the table for dinner. There's like a table off to the side. What do you guys do next?
We can't look. Whatever the fuck this is, we can't leave Sitka just out here.
Get her down to one of the bedrooms. Me and Bryant will shore up the way down to the bedroom level. We'll shore up.
Is there a door between? Because it looks like there's a slope down
Right.
to the bedroom level. Is there a door of any kind there?
No, it's just sort of an open. It's a stairwell, is what that is. It's kind of a long, kind of regular width sort of stairwell that goes down.
So
Let's grab the table, Brian. Let's turn it over, make a barricade at the doorway, at the stairway.
And furniture, try to block that passageway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the bedrooms themselves have doors, I imagine, right?
Yes. If you look at the map, those little black blocks are all the doors into the bedrooms
Yeah.
on the lower level.
And the blue ones are the windows, right?
That's right.
Hang on. Why don't we get in the lift and go down to the bottom level? That's
Hey.
secure.
If you say so. This is your shit, Brian. Like, time to earn that money.
Look, we know there's a way out down there. If we just hole up in a bedroom, we can't secure the bedroom level at all, can we?
I don't care where we take her. I just need to get my patient somewhere safe, okay?
I look to Darius.
Let's give that stairwell a try, going down to the elevator level. I don't trust the elevator. Clearly, Wayland's got some sort of controls running this place. So let's bin the elevator. Let's try the stairwell then, going down. But if not,
Okay.
come up here and defend that bedroom level.
I look over at the synth. Do you want to leave that thing running around?
I frankly don't care about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when it comes down the stairs and rips our heads off, then.
Well, it might prepare a nice steak for us. You never know.
And you do smell that roast slig, cooking in the oven. Delicious slig.
Cool. Well, I'll take Sitka down. I imagine one of our brave boys goes first down the stairwell, and I'll take Sitka in whatever order.
Of course, I always follow Darius. Except when I go.
Cover the rear, Brian. If he's going to fireman carry her down that stairwell, I'll go first.
Okay. And then Brian, you were going to slide a table or something behind you to kind of partially block the stairwell, or save that for later?
Well, I'm hoping that door is securable.
Downstairs.
The
I'm just trying to get my geography right. The entry level has a stairwell that goes all the way down to the foyer. Yeah.
Okay, you guys are not going to the lower level. You're going down the elevator down to the ground level. Is that? I got lost somewhere.
In my mind, I thought we were leaving the lounge, going down a couple of steps to the entry level, entering the stairwell, securing the stairwell door, and heading down to the foyer.
Okay. Is that the plan? And you can use the elevator. And do you want to use the elevator instead, or do you want to use the stairwell?
I think Darius is right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's got too many buttons.
That sounds reasonable. All right. Sounds good. You do so. You get to the stairs, and the stairs are a long, winding, stairwell going down, drilled or laser drilled into the solid rock of this cliffside. It's going to be a long process. In fact, nothing happens, but it takes a good half hour or so to walk down the, flight after flight of these stairs.
Occasionally, Bryant will stop and listen to see if he can hear anything from up top.
Sure. And you do also have, and remind you had set up a camera at the ground level in the foyer watching the doorway in. So I'll assume you're checking your PDAT, or you probably have notifications on. So if there's any movement or anything, it'll give you a little ding, to tell you that something's happening.
Did you have a second camera, I believe?
Did I? I can't remember.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, too. Would we put one up at the top of the stairwell, like in the open room, or?
I mean, I'm not. My inclination is not to sacrifice the second one, because we're not going to go back and get that one. Oh
Yeah. Cool. I just thought, rather than we could thing later,
We shut the stairwell, so as long as the synth doesn't open it, allow anything down here, we should be fine.
I mean, I what I will hope to have done is to put a bit of furniture, break a leg off a chair, and just wedge it in the doorway, so it is as secured as we can make it.
Okay. And so the second camera remains on Darius's shoulder, mounted on his armor, on his shoulder. All right. So half hour passes, and you're not picking up anything off that screen, off that camera that you have in the ground level. So as far as it's clear as you go down. And you get to the bottom. You open the door into the foyer, and again there's these mounted creatures, and there's these lines of cubicles with various pieces of equipment and stuff. Some of them were assigned to you. And then there's a big steel door that goes to the outside. And then there's two doors that say no admittance on them. And these are steel security doors with a little keypad and a little screen next to it. What's your next step? Otherwise, it's quiet here.
The cubicles, do they look like somewhere that we could, I could lay Sitka down and, potentially, if we have to leave this area, leave her behind in a closed door, as best as sort of hidden away as possible, kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. The one that
Cool.
was assigned to Darius is especially large. It's probably, you can kind of like set her in there halfway
Yeah.
comfortable.
I'll leave it there. Well, shit. Do we go for the tram?
Do you really think the tram's going to be working? Look, we
Yeah,
need
well, we
to
could follow the
secure these.
tracks, right? Like,
Do you want to walk through the outdoors? We've just come down a 30-minute climb in order to get away from the open air.
what's your big idea?
Thing and say that really was some shits and giggles. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Let's get in there, boys. That was fun. That was exhilarating. And I would like to activate my banter.
Well,
If this is safe.
yeah, that's the next question. Do you guys feel as though you're safe?
I'm afraid not.
Yeah, if you feel like you're safe, if you sincerely feel that your character would be safe, then that will work. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
I think we sealed the top. The front door's sealed. We've got a camera down here. It's a 30-minute sort of tumble down a set of stairs. There's no central sort of column anything could fly down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reasonably safe.
I would like to try and hack the elevator and make sure that it's not under Wayland's control.
Okay.
If that's possible.
All right. So, first of all, let's take care of the banter. Your stress level. Okay. So, if you feel as though you're safe, Darius, banters, and you can remove 2 points of stress. If you don't feel safe, then
I don't feel safe.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
That's perfectly reasonable.
I appreciate the effort that Darius makes to raise spirits, but so far we have 2 non-security doors between us and the outside world. So Bryant is busily trying to find some way to secure the door at this end of the stairwell.
Okay. The door to the outside or the stairwell door itself?
The stairwell door.
Stairwell door. Okay. Okay.
I think Noah feels as safe as he's going to. I'll take that to thing. He doesn't know enough to not feel safe, I think.
Okay. Sounds reasonable. All right. So, Brian, you start sliding some of these like cubicles and cabinets, to block that door. And Darius will catch up with you. Noah, it sounds like you're going over and you're like taking the panel off of the elevator's controls to try to like cut some wires and do what you do.
Yeah.
Let's have you make a CommTech check. So if you remember, all you have to do is just click your CommTech skill, put in 0 for the modifier, and let's see what you get.
2 stunts.
All right, perfect. So if you go to the handouts, there, the mechanics folder, the second handout is called Skills and Stunts. In this game, usually you just need 1 success to succeed, and any additional successes can be used on what's called a stunt. And each skill has a different set of stunts that are available to you. If you scroll down till you see CommTech,
Yeah,
you can pick one of those bullet pointed items as
Yeah.
a stunt because you got 2 successes.
Yeah, well, I think what I was going to do was it's basically just this lift isn't going to be a surprise. Basically, nothing's going to come down this lift without us choosing to activate it. There's a success, and the stunt. I think would it be possible to get a +1 modification to like the local systems if I have to do any more contact checks? Like,
Sure.
yeah,
I think in messing with this, you see the way that Weyland-Yutani has done the wiring here, and you see, the way that you can, get into, mess with their wiring. So you kind of figure out their logic to how they do it. So you can bank a +1 on a further roll. All right. So that elevator's frozen. And Darius, let's come back to you. What are you doing while these guys are busy, trying to secure the place? You're muted.
Good call. I'm going to look over our pilot, try and stabilize her, make sure she's okay. As you said, she sort of like looks a bit groggy. So while those two are working, I take it there's no windows, is there, at all?
No.
Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I'll let these two guys work away unless they need some assistance. But they're competent individuals. I'll look over the pilot.
Okay.
When we finish the stuff, I would like to say, like, do you think that thing fell down here, like outside?
Yeah, I do.
Gravity being a thing, yes.
But do we want to go out? Probably not. I think we need to look behind those no admittance doors first.
So do I.
It's reasonably safe here. You know, I don't want to be attacked on two sides. So let's clear them while this steel door still holds.
I don't know. I think that's a bad idea. Like, who knows what the fuck? They could be booby trapped. They could be whatever, right? Like, if I was Wayland and I'd put big no admittance doors, the first thing I'd expect is people to go through them.
Would it? Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's sit down and I'll crack open, let's have a little campfire and toast some marshmallows then, Noah.
Fuck.
You know, either we go out the front, and that doesn't look pretty good, and, you know, I told you I'm getting that thing off.
If we can find that thing, maybe I can work out what it is and we can get Sitka, like, you know?
Okay. We'll open the door. You run out and grab the thing, and we'll cover you.
Fuck. Don't want to be a big damn hero, Brian.
I want to try the no admittance doors.
Okay, fine. Well, all right. I'll go get the body. You cover me, okay?
Oh no. You go out. I'm not guaranteeing to let you back in.
Boss?
I'm not going to let him die, Brian. You know, if he goes out, I'm going to cover him.
Look, she's stable. The best thing we can do is to find a safe place, weather this, work out a way home. If we can get back to the
She's
other
stable. She's not stable, Brian. She's fucked up.
Well, she's alive.
She's alive.
Yeah. Who knows what the fuck was in that? The only way I'm gonna have any idea what's in her now is if I get a look at whatever stung her.
Okay, look, let's be sensible here. Once you go out through that door, other stuff can get in here. This is the only safe place we have here at the minute. So it seems to me really, really dangerous to open a door between where is safe and where we know the threat is. So the logical thing to do is to check our behinds. Let's make sure nothing's going to come out through those doors I manipulate, Noah.
Okay, how does that work, the manipulate thing?
Okay. So this is going to be a opposed manipulation roll. Alan, you're trying to convince Noah to want to open the doors. Open the top priority, not to go outside and do the security doors instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do, let me, one moment. So let us go skills and stunts again. If we scroll down to manipulation, again, what's going to happen is, Bryant, you're going to roll your manipulation. Noah, you're going to roll your manipulation, and you guys are going to oppose each other. The person that's acting can push. The person who's the actee cannot push. So in this case, Bryant, you can push.
I take it Noah's counter argument is to go out front.
Yeah, Noah wants to go out front.
To try and save Sitka, basically.
Right.
As best as possible.
So Bryant's got the advantage because he can push, but there's a chance that Noah could convince him actually that the other way around's fine.
Yes.
Yes. And then there's negotiating position. Let me see if any of this applies. Bryant sounds kind of neutral, so I'm going to say he's kind of not going to either help or hinder on this. Not Bryant, but Darius sounds kind of neutral. It doesn't really cost anything. You haven't damaged each other.
I've given Brian a gun.
It's true. I'm going to say
I think Paul's made his case very well, to be honest with you.
I'm going to say that overall, Bryant, you're going to roll at -1. So you go in, push your manipulation, put in a -1 for the modifier, and Noah, you go in and click manipulation. You put 0 as a modifier.
Okay.
Let's see what we get. So everybody got nothing. Okay, so Bryant, to succeed, you have to have at least one success more than the person you're trying to manipulate. So your only option here is to push it if you want.
I will push it. What do I do?
Okay. Add a point of stress. Whenever you push, you add a point of stress. And then do the roll again.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. -1. Same modifier as before. All right. Now you panic. You're pushing yourself. Roll that panic button. You got enough stress now. Oh yeah, we're moving right up. An 8. 8 is tremble. You start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility are at -2 until your panic stops. Okay. Let me make a note of that. So Bryant has tremble, -2 agility till your panic stops. There are 3 ways panic can stop. The first one is if you are broken, if through combat or taking damage, you're broken. The second one is if a turn passes. A turn is 5 to 10 minutes. And the third way is if someone else calms you. I think it's command skill. One of its functions is someone else can try to calm you down. So, Alan, what does this look like? You're arguing with Noah. You don't succeed, and in fact, you start to tremble and stress out.
I think it starts off as a very calm kind of look. This is the logical thing to do. No, look, you have to do this. This is just stupid. It's dangerous out there. It's the field. We don't want to get caught in the open. The last time I got caught in the open, bad things happened.
Brian, calm down. Breathe, my friend. Breathe. This is nothing like before.
No, this isn't going to happen again. This is not going to happen again.
Paul, are you trying to do the calming him that we talked about?
I would like to use command to chill him out.
Okay. Let me review that. I forget how that. I don't think there's any modifiers, but let me double check. So again, if you look in skills and stunts, and we go down to command, stop panic. When another character makes a panic roll and loses control, you may make a command roll to return them. Okay, so just make a straight command roll. Beautiful. 3 successes. I don't think there's any stunts on command, so you just really nicely calm him down. What's that look like, Alan and Darius?
So I think I'm sort of grabbing him by the shoulders and just say, chill out, my man, chill out. Take a breath. This is nothing like that moon. This is not that mission. Calm down, my friend. It will be fine.
Okay.
The door to the stairwell gets shoved open, and the woman comes through sort of the gap. She sort of slinks through the gap. She looks to the side, and she sees, what you've done with the elevator panel, and she looks at you guys, and she moves determinedly towards you. She doesn't seem to have friendly intention. At that moment, though, the power drops. The lights go out completely. It becomes completely dark in here. And she falls to the ground. She immediately falls to the ground and sort of starts to hold her head and start muttering. What do you guys do?
shooter.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, I was going to say secure, but the gun is quicker than the mouth. You go ahead.
This is just
Shoot it in the head. In the head. That's where the computer is.
one variable too many. So I just hit ranged combat. Yeah, I've marked ranged combat on the.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you automatically hit. What's your intention? Do you want to just destroy this person thing or damage it? What are you trying to do?
I certainly want to immobilize it. So if that means running the Rexim across a leg and severing a leg, I'll do that.
Okay. I'll just say that you do it. It takes you a minute or two. You shoot that laser beam and cut across, and the white hydraulic fluid starts to spray out, and the leg falls off a little gruesomely, and she doesn't react the whole time. She's just sort of like holding her head and kind of muttering the whole time.
So she's missing a leg now.
Yes. And she's laying up. The hydraulic fluid, she must have some function to stop the bleeding. So after a moment it stops bleeding, but now she's laying there, she's short a leg.
She's still got 2 fucking arms.
Ooh, she's gonna crawl at us. Ooh, it's a small room. She might get us.
We're in the dark now, aren't we?
Right.
It's a synth. This thing would climb up a vertical wall. It would climb all the way back up that stairwell if you programmed it to do that.
Yeah, but it's not doing that, and I have a flashlight. So get your computer kit, Noah, and let's try and hack her. Find out what her programming is.
Sure. You keep that gun on it, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We got 2 guns on this fucker.
Yeah. And he points at like a part of just behind the sort of pineal gland or whatever, and he's like, that's where the motor function is. Like, take it out.
We'll end it.
Some of them do.
You will need some sort of workshop or a medical center to do this.
Okay.
You will need some additional tools to be able to get into her functions.
Not just able to use my surgery bag to slice into it?
That's a good start. You're going to need a little bit more though.
Yeah, I'll just say I can't do it here.
Fine. Let's have a look behind those. Do you still want to go outside?
No, let's just go through the doors. You're right, Brian. You're right. Fuck it. If the synth's coming after us, if the doorway's not... Yeah, well, now the stairwell's broken open, isn't it?
Chill out. Everybody chill out.
Yeah. Okay, I will go and try the door.
Okay. All right. So the power is down. This door works. It's a power door. Which one are you doing, by the way? The one on, let's see. The one next to the stairwell or the one next to the elevator?
Oh, could we have the map back, please?
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yes. Here you go.
Thank you. Left or right, boss?
Let's do the stairwell no admittance one.
Okay.
They both say no admittance on them, by the way. They don't have any other identifying features as to what in the world where the door goes. But
the outside ones, the other one may be full of elevating machinery, so that side looks more promising.
Okay. Left side it is. So you start working on that. It's going to take you a few minutes. You take the panel off. You're hooking up. You have a. Do I remember correctly? Is it you or no? I think it actually was Sika had a hacking device. I don't think. Does Noah have anything like that? I don't recall.
I just have no, I do not, because it's not really part of the starting gear. Can I have borrowed Sitka's for this?
Yeah, I think that's fair. So you go over to Sitka, you rummage in her pack. You remember she had it's called a SSDD, I think is what it's called. And I know Will, you're a fan of Alien Isolation. This is the little hacking device that Amanda has in that game. So you do a little hacking mini game to open the door, and you you start doing that. You start, putting the connections. Now, the first problem you have is there's no power. So even if you're able to hack this, you're also going to need some sort of power to get the door to open. Any equipment that you guys have that has a power supply, you can detach the leads and sort of temporarily attach it to this door to get the power to open it. Does anybody have any equipment that has a power supply?
I have 2 extra power packs for the Rexim laser.
Okay, those are we talked about that. Those are actually like ammo. They wouldn't work for this function, but I think you do have a motion tracker which has power. Is that right, Alan?
Because I've got 5 in my power.
Right.
Consumable power.
That's the power supply that's used for your motion tracker.
Okay.
But
So,
you
yeah.
can take that power supply out, and Noah can attach it to this door to give the juice that you need, and then he can go about doing the hacking. So what we're going to do, this is a good time to do what's called a power supply roll. We're going to see how much of that juice is used up to open this door. So Alan, what I want you to do is just click the power button, and that will kick out to our screen the result. Every face hugger you get reduces the power by 1. So you got 1 of those. So reduce your power down to 4. All right, so now you've got the juice. You're going about doing the hacking part. It'll take a few minutes. Is there anything else you other guys want to do while this is happening?
Check the other door. Actually, no, we've got 1 flashlight between us. That's going to be on Noah. I think that I'm covering the synth.
Sure. Paul is asking to take a quick bio. So let's take 5 minutes. You guys will come back and we'll see what happens. 9:51, 9:55-ish. See you then. All right. So, we are going to try to open this door. I'm just looking. Sitka's little toy, the hacking device, Siegson system diagnostic device. It gives you +2 on your ComTech for this roll, Noah. So this door is difficult, though. The machinery or the programming is pretty sophisticated, so it's a difficult thing. So it's -2 just to do it. So the +2 from the device makes it an even roll. So you're going to make a ComTech check with no mod.
I do get a +1 from my previous success.
That's right. So you're going to use that up.
I'll push myself if I can.
Sure. Let me look at it. Oh no, you got a face hugger. When you get a face hugger, you can't push.
Okay.
And you have to roll that panic button. See how badly you panic. Okay.
I don't.
No, you hold it together. So you can't figure this out. There's something about this that you can't, your device and you're not able to figure out the key to get this thing to open. You guys can try something else to get it open, or if you can find some way to gain more advantage as a way to open the door, you can try again. But as of now, with the machinery, with the tools and the ability that you have, you're not able to open this one.
Would this apply to the other no admittance door as well?
No, that would be a separate roll.
Let's try that one.
Yeah. As a fallback, I will say maybe we can just see if the door will just open for the synth, drag her over to it. And, well, I guess it's not, well, it'd have to be powered up anyways, wouldn't it? So should I try the other one?
The door, we'll assume the door is powered up. So if you guys can figure out some other way, we'll figure it's holding some juice in it one way or the other. So that door, if you can figure out some other way to get it open, we'll assume at least it has power.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do the other one. Again, it'll take you a little while to sort this out.
Yeah, I think while Noah's doing that, I'll try and drag the synth body and try and slap its hand on the panel. It might work. It might not.
It seems it's more of like a pin that has to be entered rather than a actual like sensor. But yeah, you drag her over. She's kind of muttering. She's kind of muttering something like, yeah. No, she's not. She's actually she doesn't. She seems in a lot of distress. And she's muttering something about Wayland, treachery, programming conflict. It's just sort of like a jumble of words, but it's kind of all in that kind of theme in her muttering as you're dragging her over. Her eyes kind of look at you, and she seems to have like almost a little bit of recognition that you're there, but it fades in and out.
I'd like to work with her, but I'll let Noah go first.
Okay. All right. So let's do that process again. So first of all, we need, Alan, you got to give it some juice. So I'd like you to push that power button on your power supply again. Oh, another face hugger. So you're down to 3 energy. But it does have juice now. And Noah is going to go ahead and try to open this door. It's again, ComTech modifier 0.
Is it a disposable +1 or an ongoing +1?
I think it's disposable. Let me double check. If we go to that skills and stunts, ComTech. I'd say it's disposable. It's a one time.
It's a later skill rolls rather than all later skill rolls. Okay. Oh, thank God I actually succeeded. We don't just drain the motion tracker like just fumbling at a door.
Okay. So this one, for whatever reason, maybe the security is not quite as rigorous, and you're able to trip it, and it goes and it slides open. And you see, your brief look there as you see, looking in, you see that there's a lot of machinery. There's like a boiler and like hot water tanks and generators and all kinds of wires and pipes and stuff. This room's full of machinery kind of stuff. And you see sort of a glimpse at the back of the room. There's like a workbench with tools and stuff on it. But let's jump over to Darius. So Darius, tell me, what is it you're trying to say or do with this synthetic?
Can I sort of like de-panic it? I'd like to say that Wayland has indeed sold us and her out. And our only chance of getting out of here and maybe getting a leg reattached is us. So if she works with us, we're willing to help her out. But Wayland is clearly the problem child here.
Okay. That sounds good. So I'm going to say you can use whichever's better for you, command or manipulation, to try to get her to calm down.
Command.
Okay. So no modifier, just make a command roll. She's not opposing it. Okay, you failed, but you can push it if you want. Take a point of stress and roll again if you wish.
I will. I'll take the point of stress and re-roll command.
Okay, you succeeded, but you panic. So first of all, let's make that panic roll. So roll, click that panic button, 5. Okay, so you hold it together, but you succeed. And her eyes kind of clear, and she focuses on you, and she says, Darius Park, I know you. I saw a picture of you. And she looks around and she goes, Bryant and Noah. What's the situation? What's going on?
Wayland is soldier out. Whatever he sent you down here to do to us, he's left you here. He's left you to die.
It's a synth, man. Like, he sent his toy down to kill us. That's all.
No, she didn't attack us. I'm sure if she wanted to, she could have done a lot earlier. So, we need you to assist us. Get this door open.
Yes, my programming's clear now. I was being controlled by the AI. The wireless was controlling me and telling me to stop you from, accessing any secure areas. But yeah, I can open these doors for you. She looks around. She sees the lights are off. She says, "We'll need power, but I know the codes." And she says, "I seem to be missing a leg."
You
was an accident.
on the stairs.
Right. She sees it over there, and she goes, "Can you help me up?"
Yeah, certainly. So I don't know how heavy a synth is, but
probably the same as a human.
I'll lift her up. She clearly looks not that heavy.
No, she's pretty light. And you she kind of like stumbles. You stumble over to the door. Are you going to the door that you guys failed at, or?
Yeah, the door that we failed at.
Right. Noah's gotten the other door open.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's nothing in there of use other than the workbench we might have to use to hack her if this didn't work, right? Like,
or reattach her.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Noah, will you make an observation check for me?
Sure.
No modifiers.
Observation. That's one success.
Okay. You hear some thumping from the wall to the right, looking into this room, and you kind of like look over that way, and you can see through the pipes and the wires and the machinery, the boiler. You can kind of see around it, and there's a large, solid-looking steel hatch in the side of the wall. It's about a meter by meter square. It's very solid steel, an access hatch of some sort, and you hear some sort of like banging on it, not real loud, but just like
Is this in the boiler cupboard?
Yeah, this is in the machinery area. Let me actually,
the lift side sealed area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is a steel hatch and banging on the other side.
That is not good.
I think that cinematically it looks like Noah hearing that, looking at the thing, cocking his head, and then slowly backing out, closing the door behind him, and filling in the rest that, off camera, everyone knows that there's a hatch there and something banging on the other side, but it looks pretty secure.
Right. Meanwhile, Darius has, stumbled over to the door with the synth. And by the way, she says, Darius Park, my name is Kyoko.
And who do you belong to, Kyoko?
I am a Weyland Yutani synthetic person. Although seeing what the company has done to me and made me do, I think I'm going to quit. I'm a free agent now.
Good. That's good.
Something fucked up in this one's programming already, guys.
No, I'm all for synth independence, especially from Weyland. So yeah, even if it is my enemy, my enemy, yeah, whatever.
Is your friend.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
She reaches over, she clicks in a pin, and the door to this other room opens up, and now you see that this is a medical bay, and there are several medical tables. There's a med pod, a very sophisticated med pod. If you guys saw Prometheus, I think it had a very in Prometheus this automated med pod. You program it, and then it does the procedure automatically. And it's a very high tech, very expensive piece of equipment. And there's a medical cabinet towards the back of the room, and then there's sort of a chain linked area that's kind of blocked off that has a chain link door and a little, again, another pin keypad next to it. And this, you see that there's weapons that are secured, several different weapons on the wall, and a couple foot lockers. So this is sort of a medical area / armory. Is this other little room? You should be able to see them on your map now. It should say medical, armory, and machinery. Do you guys all see that? And it has that little on the machinery area. That little red square on the east side, the right side. That's that armored metal hatch that I mentioned that Noah noticed.
Has Noah shared this kind of clunking noise? Because I've been covering the synth as Darius lifts her up and takes her where it needs to go. So has Noah told?
Yeah, 100%. I do think though that with the med bay, in the background, I will just take Sitka over to that med pod, and I think that's maybe a better place to leave her fictionally as well. In the med pod.
Sure. Sure.
Because it's an auto dock, isn't it? It does stuff for you basically.
Right. It's an auto dock. Yep. You can lay her in there. There's medical beds here too, comfy little beds. You can lay her on one of those if you prefer. But if you want to have, you can program the med pod to diagnose, figure out what's going on. If there's any, procedures that the med pod can do, you certainly can do that.
I just want to leave Sitka in a place where it's like coming out of hypersleep again.
Okay. So you just want to kind of stabilize and put her to sleep, or.
Somewhere safe where she's not going to get face hugged immediately.
Okay.
Can you use this to reattach the synth's leg?
Yeah, you probably could.
Frankly, she's more useful than Sitka.
Shit. Well, how about those guns? I could do with a gun. I haven't got a gun.
Yeah, you worry about the synth's legs. Darius and I will break open the armory.
Okay. In Kyoko, Noah's laying. So we'll say it sounds like then Sitka you lay on just a regular table or a regular medical bed that's laying there, and you secure her, make sure she's safe. She's kind of half ambulatory. She's muttering. She's not conscious, obviously, or she doesn't aware of what's going on. You can tell that much, but you can kind of lead her around. You lay her down. You put Kyoko. You lay Kyoko out, and she says, Noah Emilson, what is it you're planning to do?
put your leg back on, machine.
She says, okay. She gives you a little direction of like how to set up the machine and, how to, she gives you the code to, activate it. Mechanically, she's going to be assisting you is what this is going to be.
During while I'm doing this, I would like to ask her for all of the pins, passcodes, pins, etc. All of the information that she has that can be of use for that kind of thing.
And she spits them out, like rapid, all the, like 20 different codes.
Just notes as they all come out.
Right. And you pass on the code to open the armory for these other guys.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you for a moment. You're busy, setting up the med pod. There's going to be a roll involved, but it shouldn't be too hard. Let me open up a couple things for you guys. If you go to finding stuff, I'm going to open up the medical area. There's a list of stuff you guys can check out. And also the armory. Okay, so on the handouts, you guys should now see the chalet medical area and the chalet armory. So there's a list of equipment on each of those, and you guys can take anything off either list that you like, add it to your character sheet. As you take things off, just edit and just remove that from the list so everybody else knows what's still available. For our listeners, and as you guys are perusing these things, in the medical area, there are 3 med kits. Med kits are used to get people, if they're broken, to kind of get them back on their feet. There's a surgical kit. I know Will has one of those. His character has one of those. That's used if someone's dying, to help stop them from dying. So they kind of have 2 different functions. The med kits is a one-use item. It gives you an extra plus on a first aid roll. Never Sleep is it's a stimulant, kind of keeps you awake, keeps you going if you're getting strung out. And Nap Relieve is a powerful painkiller that will take away all of your stress. But if you use it more than once a day, you start to get some side effects.
Do you guys want to take a Nap Relieve each and divide the Never Sleep between you? Both of you take 2 Never Sleeps. I will take. I think you should both take a med kit as well. Like, I guess there's a carrying load, isn't there, as well here? Like, you have a capacity, don't you, in Alien?
Yeah. You guys, since last session, I've gone through and I've put in stats and stuff and figured out the encumbrance. So, in the bottom of your character sheet, there's an encumbrance circle with a number in there, and you can carry twice your strength in encumbrance without any problems. If you go over that, then when you try to run or crawl, you're going to have to make a roll or just fall down, basically, or have to like drop stuff. So generally speaking, if you can stay 2 times your strength or less, you're fine. You can go up to 4 times your strength, but then you have that modifier, or you have that difficulty moving around. But for now, just kind of scribble down whatever it is you feel like you'd like to get. We'll sort out the encumbrance probably between sessions. So I'll just kind of eyeball it, and if it looks like,
the drugs are nothing. So
yeah, the drugs are nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and the surgical kit's half a slot, and the medical kit's pretty much nothing either. So maybe you guys should take a med kit each as well. Like in case you get messed up when we get separated. I will take one of them, and we could just leave the surgical kit because I'm not going to carry around 2, and you guys are probably not going to be that useful with it, frankly.
Right.
In terms of the armory, I know that Alan said he's taking the pulse rifle, which sounds perfect. What about the body armor?
The sad truth is I don't have the encumbrance for it.
How much is the body armor?
I think it's 1. There's a folder. There's a file in the Google folder called "Copy of Alien Equipment."
It's 1.
Yeah, is it 1? right.
But I've just
Yeah.
thought that I am carrying that elephant gun. I'm inclined to trade the elephant gun in.
Yeah, do that. Trade the elephant gun in. I mean, pulse rifles is a proper gun, isn't it? Not as some stupid hunters think.
So I'll take the M3 armor,
Okay.
which if that is 2, that replaces the.
It's one of the
Okay,
M3.
so that's actually takes me down to 4.5 because I've dumped the knife as well. And that leaves me with room for the medical kit.
And Kyoko says, from the med pod, she's like, I cannot, harm a human being or through my actions allow them to be harmed. But if you intend for me to go with you, should I, pick up some weapons also? No? Okay.
I'm happy with any sort of non-automatic, weapon.
Sure.
Stun baton?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I don't know, a shotgun, I guess?
You want her to grab a shotgun?
No, I want to grab a shotgun.
You want to grab a shotgun? Okay. And she says, I'd be happy to carry, anything that would help you.
Sitka.
Sure.
Mm.
I would be happy to help carry Sitka Ramos.
Grenades? Who wants to get the grenades?
Yeah, I'll take the grenades, and I'll probably also take the harpoon gun. I'm pretty strong, so I can carry quite a good load.
Everything I'm carrying is weighs nothing. So, the armor. I'm gonna say if Alan's not gonna take it because Sitka's not here for this, I would like to say that perhaps we leave it for her to position this out.
I thought Ryan took it.
I traded in the Eldritch gun for the armor.
I see. Yeah, perfect then. Okay, I will take the electroshock grenade and look sternly at the droid.
Sure. The electroshock grenade is a stun grenade. It's a area effect. It'll affect synths, humans, hopefully animals.
What is a PDT? Sorry.
Those are personal data transmitters. Those are commonly they're injected, but these are like little wristbands. In the movie Aliens, Ripley gives one to Newt. That little wristband that allows her to find her later in the alien hive. So those can be linked to your PDT or your personal data pad, Brian. If you guys wanted to take any personal PDTs, put these little wristbands on. They don't have any weight.
Yeah. We're all kitted out with PDTs now. Nice.
Is there any mechanical issue about the fact I now have I think I have more than 8 items. Oh no, I see. I can. Do I create more items as I scroll down?
On the character sheet, I don't know. Does it look like you have any way to?
Hang on, let's just.
I don't know if there's space.
I know that it tops out at 8.
Yeah, so you can add more stuff to just kind of in the margins or whatever, or you can put it on the front page, the bio and info if you're overloaded.
Well, what I'm doing is doubling up where I can in that equipment list.
Sure. Yeah, and just get it all down. I'll clean it up and everything later.
I just want to put on the table for whenever it eventually does come to this, you guys. I do have 6 extras which increase your agility or strength, so give you an extra die towards your combat abilities. I won't push it on you, but just give it a shout if you want to have that effectively.
Right. And that lasts for a shift, which is 5 to 10 hours. So it's a pretty lengthy That's a X drug, specially designed drug that enhances your abilities for a pretty long period of time.
But it seems as though now that we're we're kitted out. I guess we're leaving behind a lot of the heavier stuff, and we can say that Sitka can have taken. We'll grab some stuff for Sitka, I guess, like retroactively.
Sure.
But can we ask? I guess we want to ask Kyoko about those locked rooms upstairs and menu the potential way we might have to get out of here, right?
Okay. Right. Let me just make a note that you guys are. I think that's a good idea. So when Jamie returns, they can just go ahead and choose from these lists also. We'll just sort of assume you guys instinctively knew what she would want to carry. Let me just make a note so I don't forget. Chalet, armory, and medical.
And in the interim, the synth can carry them.
Right. And you did want Kyoko to grab a stun baton, but nothing else.
Yeah.
For herself. Okay. So then you're asking her about upstairs, and she says there is one other secured room upstairs that's the server room for the computer, the AI that runs the chalet. I can tell right now that it's powered down, though. Just like there's no power in the chalet at all. I'm not getting any signal whatsoever. Otherwise, what was the other question? Like how to get out of here? Is that your other question?
We've got a ground floor door that's unexplored, haven't we, going off the workshop?
She says there's only two ways out of the chalet. You can go out the front door, or you can go through the access panel in the workshop into the maintenance tunnels, which he wants to do that, I can tell.
Tell me of these maintenance tunnels of which you speak. This is where that banging noise is coming from.
Right. I mean, you guys you walk over there and you're looking that way, and I guess she's laid out in the med pod, so she's telling you this. She's not actually ambulatory yet. We're going to need Noah to make a roll here pretty soon. But yeah, you kind of wander over that way, and you hear that dull thumping also, and you see that that thick metal, iron, steel maintenance hatch, access hatch. And it seems to be what she's talking about. And it has like a little keypad and stuff next to it, though. So, you could open it with her pin, one of the many pins that she's given you. Let's go ahead and have Noah try to reattach this leg. So you're actually not going to do any of the work. All you're going to do is you're going to program this computer to do it for you. And this requires a CommTech roll. It's very easy. This thing's designed for lay people to go ahead and do to program it to do incredibly complex medical procedures. So this is at +2, and okay. Kyoko is giving you an assist, so you're actually rolling at +3. So when it says modifier, put in a 3. Don't put +3, just put 3.
One success and a panic.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that panic. Okay, you're holding it together. You can start to, maybe you panic a little because you start that thudding that you heard earlier. You can start to hear it in the medical area now. It's getting louder, and Bryant's kind of standing there, and you too. It's clearly this rhythmic thud, bang, bang. It's gone from a thud to more of a bang against this metal hatch. But you do succeed, so you have reattached Kyoko's leg, and she hops up, and she's good to go.
Did anyone pick up the fragmentation grenades?
Paul did.
Did anyone pick up the smoke grenade?
No.
Okay.
It would be probably worth the time now, since we're going to have Jamie go back and pick from these lists. Push that little edit button on each of them and take out the stuff on the list that you took, so we know what's left. Okay, good. Someone's marking it out.
Yeah, I'm doing that already.
I was trying to do that earlier. How do you cross out and roll 20?
When you click on edit, as in the whole thing, at the very top of the text box, there's a full range of CMS like font and edit stuff, and there's a strike through button just next to underline.
Oh, okay, great.
I took the harpoon grappling gun as well.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And that's that little gun that in Alien, at the end of Alien, that Ripley uses to shoot the xenomorph and knock it out into space. That's about it's like a pistol size kind of thing.
You taking the smoke grenade, Brian?
Yeah.
And you know what? May as well take the binoculars as well, right? Again, like when Jamie comes back, we can see if she wants to grab some of the kit that we took for ourselves.
Okay.
You know, as well as like the stuff that's left behind. She can choose. Maybe Jamie walks around with a flamethrower for the rest of the session. Like,
Sure.
Well, interesting. I was about to pick the flamethrower up.
Well, yeah. We can only fire one gun at a time. So.
We can.
Paul, you said you took the harpoon grappling gun. I'll strike that out. Somebody took the pulse rifle. Is that correct?
Yeah, I took the pulse rifle.
Okay, I'll mark that out.
We're leaving behind the elephant gun. So
Okay.
God help us if we come across one of those alien big ones. Right?
Yeah. Will, you took the regular shotgun. Is that right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, I'll strike that out.
There was two, I think it said.
Oh, okay. You took one out already? Okay,
Yeah, so I just changed it to one rather than two.
Okay. Stun baton you gave to Kyoko. Power supply 5. I'll add that to her sheet.
I've just lifted the binoculars.
I crossed that through.
Oh, it's not. Sorry. Because until I save changes, I won't see what other people have done, will I?
No, actually, it's best if only one person edits it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it resaves over whatever the latest
Yeah.
person to save it is.
Oh.
But we have rinsed this place for as much as possible. We've left behind service pistols, maybe a shotgun. That's about it, really, right? Like whatever we had enough of. I'm glad that we've done what sensible people would do in a horror movie.
Right. So you guys are fully jacked up with gear now. When you're ready, we will continue our story. So you hear that thumping has become a banging now. Kyoko is ready. She's got Sitka kind of like draped over her shoulders. Or not, I mean, she's not lifting her. She's sort of like, leading her along.
It feels like there's no point in going up to it was comms room that needed power, right? Like upstairs or something. Like a
Right. She said there's a server room. That other no admittance room leads into a server room.
I mean, I know that the power's currently down. It may not stay down. This might be our chance to like patch into, like get the full lay of the land and maybe like see about what the tram might come back on again or something. I don't particularly want to go down into the place with the banging yet.
You can go out the front door too, just out into the open, out into the park.
What about we go out? What about we go out the way we came in, and head for the nearest one of those bunkers that take us down into the service tunnels and try and get back that way. Tunnels have a front and a back, so
yeah.
Anything that cuts down on the potential enemies and lowers direction of attack is good.
Yeah, here's the park map. You guys are at the chalet on the west side, and the bunker that Brian's talking about, I believe, would be this. The U. That's the nearest entrance to the underground.
That's right.
The tram station's here. It's about 1 kilometer away from you. The underground bunker would be another a hike, about a 3 kilometer hike along the path. That's kind of what's near you guys. And so, yeah, that would be a plan.
Does Kariko know how we can, like any difficulties we might face getting into the tunnel?
Kyoko says, I've always just been assigned here to the chalet. Unfortunately, I don't know anything else about the rest of the park.
Okay. Well, should we do that?
Yeah, the tunnel should take us near enough. I mean, it's a long, convoluted route, but we can get all the way either to the spire or very close to the support base, LZ.
And there might be a vehicle down there or something, you know?
Just so I'm clear, these green lines are surface roads.
That's right. The actual
so
under.
we don't know how those underground bunkers are connected,
That's right.
or indeed if they are connected.
I thought they were underground route. That's fine.
No, this is just what you see on the screen is the surface. And you know, as we laid out, let me go over the map real quick. It sounds like that's where we're going next. Let me explain a little bit more. So the purple line that goes directly across, that's the tram. That's the elevated tram. Then the green lines, those are the rough road tracks that, you know, meander through the park. And as we explained, a lot of those run along these ridges, you know, these kind of zigzag through this rocky, broken terrain. The little white circles with the U, those are the stations that allow access to the underground. There are these light blue walls that go north-south. There's 2 of them. Those are dividing walls that divide each zone from the next zone. They're not as high. They're only half as high as the perimeter wall, but they have the same sort of smooth stone, and they're kind of curved to try to stop things from climbing them. And they each have a spot where there's some sort of passage that allows the road to pass through the wall into the next zone. The big yellow thing in the very middle, that's the spire that we talked about last session. Let me throw some pictures at you guys to help you visualize all of this. So these are the, Paul provided us with a nice picture of what these bunkers might look like that allow access to the underground with these solid steel doors. Here's the big spire that's in the middle of the park, several hundred meters high, very steep. And you had noticed that there were some caves along the sides of it and at the base also. Here's a picture I found to kind of maybe capture the kind of idea of these ridge roads that kind of run along through the park. And they kind of like stick to the edge of the forest because the actual forest or the actual lower areas are, where's my picture of that? Oh, where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Are very kind of heavy, a lot of trees, and kind of spooky and dark. And there's these Jamie had told us about these translucent sort of like spider web creatures that are found throughout the park, and decided that nighttime they're bioluminescent. So that's, this picture kind of captures that. So if you get off the road, this is the kind of stuff you'll be moving through.
I guess we do want to get, we want to get somewhere before nightfall, don't we? So yeah.
And when you guys open the door, you see it. Unfortunately, it is nightfall now. When we had stopped last time, it was twilight, and an hour or 2 has passed now as you've been doing this various stuff. So it is nighttime now. So we'll pick up there. The 5 of you, I guess. You know, the door opens. Oh, actually, Bryant, you need to make another power roll to get this door to open. Yeah.
I'll supply the power for this.
Well, I'm just wondering. I meant to ask this. There is a motion tracker in the armory.
Mm-hmm.
If I swap them out, do I go straight up to or? Yeah.
Yep. And
So-
in fact, you can just carry an extra power pack too. You can just take the power pack out of that if you want.
Oh, right. So leave this one at 3 and carry and a power 5 pack.
Power 5,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm much happier now.
Okay. So go ahead and make a power roll, whichever one you're using. All right, that one doesn't lose any extra power. So you open the door, it opens up, and you see before you this path. This path is a very fine, fitted stone path that leads east back to the tram. And you hear it's very, very quiet, dark.
So I think probably this is about Bryant and Darius taking point, isn't it? Or do I let Darius take point and protect the rear? I think
Yeah.
I probably do.
Okay. So we got Bryant. Then who's Noah? I guess really all I need to know is what you just told me. Who's in front and who's in back? So Bryant, Darius, you're leading the way.
Yep.
Bryant's bringing up the rear. The others are in the midst. And are you guys going to move quietly or quickly?
Given we're on the path, this very nicely put together path, I think quickly could be quite quiet.
Okay.
It's not like we're going to step on a twig.
Okay. And are you going to use any light? It is very dark out here.
I'd probably say no. I mean, hopefully the bioluminescence and the sort of flat nature of the road, we should be able to be okay. If not, we're just drawing attention.
Okay.
Hey, Kyoko, can you see in the dark?
She says, no, I'm sorry. I don't have that function.
My equipment, I may have NVG. We've got trackers anyway. We'd see anything incoming.
Yeah, you can pull out a tracker if you want to turn that on.
Yeah. I'll use a tracker.
Okay.
That uses power, though, doesn't it?
It does. The way the tracker works is for every turn that you use it, you make a power supply roll, but it will show you anything larger than a cat that's moving around near you. And in the open, it has quite a bit of range. So you should be able to see anything for close to a kilometer, actually.
I picked up the binoculars. Does that give me low light?
I will say yes. Sure.
Because one way to do this would be to hand the binoculars to, or no, that's handing equipment round is so tedious. That would put Bryant at the sharp end with the binoculars, and then Overwatch.
I feel like with the binoculars, it's one of those things that you wouldn't really walk around with.
That's right.
No. Over, right? So
No, what I'm talking about is stop, look.
Every once in a while, stop and look around.
Okay.
Move up. Okay.
Mechanically, how long? So one power use, 1 turn's worth of motion tracker.
Right.
How far will that take us on the road?
A turn is 5 to 10 minutes. So every 5 to 10 minutes, we'll make a power supply roll if you use the if you're using a tracker. Although, like I said, you can kind of like pull it up, check it out, put it away, pull it out, later, and you don't have to have it working continuously. But that's up to you, I guess.
So where are we heading to? We're heading to the first U, are we?
Yeah, which is about. I mean, it's 3 or 4 clicks away, so it's an hour's walk.
Right. So basically, this nice path will go about 1 kilometer to the tram station, and then there's a road, a much rougher road that goes off towards the underground station nearby, and that's another 3 kilometers or so hike. So you've got about a 4-kilometer hike total to get there. It'll take about an hour. Sitka is kind of slowing you down a little bit.
Okay, so there's no point using the motion tracker, so that's fine. We'll go on without it.
Okay. But Bryant's checking every once in a while. When he gets a good vantage point, where he can look around, he pulls out these low light binoculars and he looks about. So Bryant, I want you to make a observation check for me. The binoculars will give you an extra, I think it's a +1. So go ahead and roll observation with an extra +1. Yeah, let's do that.
You're muted, Alan.
Binocs in the spreadsheet are +2.
Yeah, but I'm taking into account
Okay. Yeah, the low light.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not great at this, but it's something.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do, where is observation? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's do that then. With +1.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh boy. All right. So even if you get multiple facehuggers, you still only roll panic once. So go ahead and roll panic.
Okay, if you insist, I will
Yeah.
roll panic. Hang on, I'm just losing track of where my character sheet's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay, panic.
8. So that's the
-1.
yeah, tremble.
isn't it?
You're -2 on agility checks until your panic stops. So
Okay.
what's that look like, Bryant?
Well, I think
let me tell you what you see first, because you do see something, even though you failed. So you look around, you don't see anything on the ground, but you do see flying high above. You see, a little bit of a green of, these the low light figures, show up green on the binoculars, and you see that there are multiple of these flying creatures, kind of at the edge of the range of these binoculars, maybe a kilometer or so away. They don't seem to be moving towards you, but there seems to be some sort of like melee going on in the air. They're attacking each other, or even it looks like there's 2 different types. One's a little smaller than the other.
I think that we see this panic. I think that he's looking around, and because we're on a kind of slope at some point, I guess this will be going on. Though it's in the air in the valley, I'm looking straight across at it, so I'm seeing it from the side. And I drop the binoculars and fumble to get them up and put them away. I say, quick, move, quick.
Okay. And you move along, and Brian is sort of trembling as you're going along, although you're in the back, so maybe other people don't really see that your hand is, shaking as you're trying to move along. Your legs feel like jelly. And you reach the tram, and you look up, and it's elevated a good 20-30 meters above, and there's these trees, these tall spindly trees all around you, and they kind of they shield you a clear view of the tram, but there's a little elevator there, but there's no sign of any power. There's no lights or anything here, and there's no tram above. The tram station is empty. And then, like I said, there's there's a path that goes off, a dirt path, rougher path that goes off into the forest, down into a darker area of the forest. It sounded like your intention was to go down that path. Is that correct? Okay. So you move along, and again, Brian, you're checking around. At least a turn passes, so that agility thing goes away. Your agility's fine now. Enough time passes that that adrenaline fades, and you return to relative normalness. Going to sort of like fast forward through the hike in the forest. Nothing happens. You reach the underground station. Let me drag you guys to that picture. And so the path comes here, and there's sort of a courtyard in front, kind of like this, we'll say it's the same as in the picture. There's just sort of a concrete courtyard in front, and off to your left there's a path that goes off into sort of a rise, and you can see through some of the trees that there's cages up in there, some of these animal cages that you saw as you took the tram into the place, and you can just kind of make them out there, 50 meters away or so. And here in this, right in front of this station, there's one of these Jeeps. Let me double check. Is it a Jeep or a truck?
That's what we're talking about. Some transport.
Mm-hmm. One moment.
It's a bit much to hope for an APC, I guess.
It's a Jeep, so it's a smaller vehicle. It looks like this. And it's parked there before the underground station, and it looks undamaged. It's just sitting there, and you see a trail. You see a little pool of blood and a trail of blood leading from this Jeep into the station about 10 meters away from it. And the doors, the big steel doors, are ajar leading into the underground station. It's quiet here otherwise.
I am finally going to buckle and ask Noah for a chill pill.
You could do with it, Brian. Give you a nap relief.
Okay.
Would now maybe be a good time to use that motion tracker?
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, with the open doors to the underground bunker, and clearly it's dark in there, I'll activate my motion tracker. If it doesn't pick up anything,
do you think?
if it doesn't pick up anything, I will then use a flashlight.
Okay. Let me, first things first, so the nap relief, mark that off, Will, and off your sheet. Or I think, Brian, did you end up carrying a nap relief? Whoever's taking the pill.
Yeah, but I'll give him one of mine so
Okay.
he can keep on to his.
Okay. And what that does, Alan, it takes away all your stress. You feel just fine. If you take another one, though, in the next 5 to 10 hours, then you'll start to get a little groggy. So now the motion tracker. So Brian, you pull it out and you get that dunk, 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 dunk. Every time somebody plays Alien, they have to try to imitate the motion tracker noise, and it's always different. Everybody does it different. So you kind of swing around. First things first, make that power supply roll like we had Alan doing earlier.
Can I just, because the pulse rifle is two-handed, isn't it? So what I would suggest is that Darius is in front with the rifle, and I'm going behind with the motion tracker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll roll my power.
I think Darius already did, so we'll say
Okay.
he pulled his out, and maybe he switched with you or something. Like
Okay.
that's fine. But so Darius, it looks like you lost a point of power, so just reduce it to 4. All right. So and whether it's Brian or Darius that looks around with the motion tracker, this is what you pick up. So there is some movement behind you now in the cages. Like I said, 50 to 100 meters away. There's some movement. Lots of different. You're getting lots and lots of, or maybe half a dozen different signals. They are moving around, but they're not moving very far. And kind of going back and forth in a small area. Otherwise, it's quiet.
So you said the doors to the underground thing were open?
Yeah, they're partially ajar. The big steel doors is slightly opened.
Is it picking up anything from in the tunnel?
No, there's probably some interference from the structure. You probably won't be able to see as far, but you should, at least you would know from experience that if there's anything right near the door, you should be picking it up if it's moving.
Sweet. Let's get the doors are pretty big, yeah?
Oh yeah, real big. Big enough for these big vehicles to pass through.
Yeah, so I'm going to suggest we open the door, get in the Jeep and drive underground. Right.
And these Jeeps, you kind of like look underneath, and they have these wheels, these track wheels that can just exactly. Good one. And they descend, like there must be some button you push inside the cab that has these track wheels. So if you can get down to the track, hypothetically, you should be able to run these things on the train track underground. I'm sorry. What were you guys? You're gonna open the doors all the way, jump in the Jeep, and drive it down in there? Is that the plan?
Yeah, maybe like a kind of like 2 people go down to pull open the doors. One of us is in the car with a rifle and the motion sensor.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
If you stay in the vehicle, Noah, me and Brian will open the doors. Then we'll cover you as you drive in. Then you can cover forwards while we close the doors behind us.
Yeah, and the motion sensors just sat on the back of the car, like.
So now
Where's this blood trail go? We saw it get as far as the doors.
that's right.
And is this drops of blood, or is this a body dragged?
It looks like drops of blood, but it sounds like you're looking at it. So, Bryant, make an observation check for me. Actually, make an observation check at -2, or make a survival check straight up, whichever's better for you. Survival works off of what? Wits, I think.
I think that they are quits, because I've got a Samami E-Series watch who apparently gives me 1 survival. So so it's as broad as long. So I'll put a straightforward -2 in. Whoops, daisy. -2. Hit submit.
Okay. So you're kind of checking out this blood, and first of all, you can tell it's mostly dried up. This blood's been here for at least 5 or 6 hours. It's pretty well dried up, and like I said, right by and Noah would pick this up too, getting into the truck or the Jeep. There's sort of like a little pool of blood on the seat, the driver's seat. Then there's a sizable pool like right by the door, and then there's sort of drip, 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 drip going off towards the steel doors of the underground station. And you see, it doesn't look like anyone was dragged, but you can see that something has stepped into the pool of blood and left a track. And it's a humanoid looking, it looks like a hand, a very large hand, but it clearly has some very nasty talons.
And we do know about these large kind of gliding apes, don't we?
Yeah, you guys, you saw before. I don't think you would have known before you got here, but you saw the stuffed apes in the foyer. You saw the flying creature, and you saw the extremely large slig head, mounted on the wall. So yeah, you know a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, that's my best guess.
Mm-hmm. And it seems to the tracks seem to go in that same direction into the underground.
Well, I'll warn people, to keep an eye up, because as far as we know, these things are great climbers.
Mm-hmm.
Can we drive the Jeep through? I'm imagining like with the flashlights and like guns ready, and like piercing through the darkness of this unlit tunnel as we drive down.
Sure. So you guys pull the door open. It slides easily. It's well oiled and whatnot, and you pull it open. Screech, and the doors open, and the Jeep comes up, and you guys jump in, I presume, as it goes by. And who's going to jump in the passenger seat, and who's going to jump in the back?
Hang on. No, we don't jump into the Jeep, surely.
Oh, okay.
We close the door behind us.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can swap seats with someone as well. It would be our pilot would obviously be the best one, but whoever's got the highest agility, I think, would be the
I've got
the
agility 4, so my piloting would be 4D.
That'd be, I think I've got 4 as well. So maybe I'll drive, and you guys then can be free to shoot. Okay.
Literally ride shotgun.
Okay. So Bryant, you jump in the shotgun seat, and Darius, you jump in the sort of like the back, the bed in the back. Does that work for you guys? And I guess Sitka and Kyoko kind of load themselves into that bed in the back too, and you guys make your way down. It's a big wide ramp. You're descending down this reinforced concrete corridor ramp that goes down, and it's super dark. You're going to need some sort of light here to be able to see anything. You want to flip on the lights on the Jeep, or do you want to use your flashlight, the Jeep? Okay, so the beams of the Jeep, pop on, and you see, you descend, and it doesn't go too far, 20, 30 meters, and you get to a landing, and there's a this open landing, and there's sort of like a pad where you presumably you drive the Jeep onto this pad. The wheels will come down, and that'll allow you to transition to drive on this track that goes down this tunnel Let me pull out a picture. This picture, thanks to Alan, I stole it from your did you say Pinterest or Pinterest? How do you say that?
Pinterest.
I say Pinterest.
Yeah. The train tunnel. You guys see that? Did I drag you there or did I just put myself there?
No.
Oh, there you are.
I see.
And so there's this dark train tunnel. And maybe there's like every once in a while there's like that green light, but it's real dark. It's about 10 meters wide, 10, 15 meters high. And on this landing off to the side, you see that blood trail goes off towards where, remember we had that maintenance hatch that was back in the chalet. There's one of those here too off to the side, and it looks like the hatch has been, it's all bent and twisted, and it's been physically ripped off the wall, and it's lying on the ground, and there's this hole, this leading into some sort of tunnel where the blood leads.
So yeah, we're certain it's that way round. It's not something's come out of there and headed out. It's definitely started outside and led to this tunnel and inside.
From what you've seen, that would kind of be your read on it, yeah.
Well, I think we should drive quickly away from it.
Well, should we take a quick 5-minute
Yeah,
bio?
let's do
and
that. It's a
then-
good time for a break.
Yeah.
Let's take a good 10 minutes, and we'll come back at 11:07. any rules questions or any other questions you guys have while we have a pause here in the action?
No, to be honest, Jason, I think your explanation of the rules as we hit them is working for me at least.
Cool.
Yeah, while there's quite a few rules, I actually think they're quite simple rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the basic dice mechanic kind of I mean, it's just all permutations around the basic dice mechanic, really. You know, that if you understand that, you pretty much capture most of the stuff we do in this game. All right. So you guys are moving your way down this dark underground train subway, and there are, as I mentioned, there are these green sort of emergency lights, maybe every once in a while, to provide a little bit of light. Is that good enough for you, or do you want to flip on those head beams as you're driving along? You got your beams going? Okay. And so this maintenance, this tunnel, it's not a straight line. There's all kinds of side tunnels, tracks, you know, that you can push a button and it'll automatically switch the track, you know, to have you go down a different direction. It's a bit of a maze. And who was in the front seat? I think Bryant, you were in the front seat and Noah was driving. So Bryant, you've like gotten in the glove compartment and you pulled out this map of this underground thing. You're trying to like turn it all around, try to figure out how in the world do we get where we want to get. Where are you trying to get to anyways, I guess?
Well, I've got my Somami E-Series watch, which apparently does, direction finding and all
GPS
sorts of stuff. Yeah. So my assumption is, if in doubt, head east.
Okay. You're trying to get to the Weyland-Yutani base. Is that your destination? Or trying to
certainly my assumption.
Sure. All right. So it's like I said, it's not a straight line, but you're making your way along. And Noah, you got a choice to make. You can drive along at cruise speed of this, which is about 40 kilometers per hour, or you can go fast. What do you want to do?
Cruise speed.
Cruise speed. Okay. You're going along, and you drive for an hour or so. I guess it's worth asking, does anybody feel like they're safe now to the point where they could lose some stress, or is everybody on edge? Okay.
I'm feeling really safe.
You're mellow. And so you guys are moving along, and Noah, you're driving, obviously, and Brian's checking the map. Darius, what are you doing as you guys are going through this tunnel?
I mean, we're moving at speed, so I wouldn't have expected anything to come from the rear. But no, I will still keep an eye out. If those two are in the front, I'll keep an eye out back.
Okay. Yeah, and there is some dim light, as you're moving along. You can, as you move along, you can kind of see a little bit back in there. So that's reasonable. What we're going to do then, let's make an observation check. And this is a team or a group roll. So whoever has the best observation, we established last time that it was Noah that was your most observant person. So Noah, you're going to make an observation check. Since you guys have your head beams on, there's not going to be any modifiers for the darkness. You're moving at cruise speed, so that's, not going to affect anything. So I think it's a straight up roll. Just make a observation check for me.
Okay.
Oh, but you do get, I'm going to say Bryant's busy with the map, so you're not helping too much with the observation, but we will say Darius is helping. So go ahead and give yourself an extra die.
Cool.
All right.
That is 2 successes. It's a stunt even.
That's right. So we can look at, if you look at observation, the stunts, one weak spot, I guess, in the game is if we look at skills and stunts and we go to observation, they're all about like, well, it might apply here. Let's look at them. Where is that?
Well, why don't you could just tell me if it applies. If I can think of where to find those questions, then sure.
Right. Is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? How do I get in, past, and away? So you've been driving for about an hour or so, and every once in a while, every half kilometer or so, you see another one of these maintenance hatches on the side of the wall that you go by, and they're all secure. They all have like a little green, a red light or something that shows, well, they might not even have that because they're powered down. So you see these maintenance hatches as you're going along, and you get in your head beams as you come around a corner, you see a flash of something moving, and it runs across the path at the kind of the edge of your beams, and it's big. It's bigger than a person, and it's bulky. It's a big, bulky thing. It's moving incredibly fast. It zips across. It's black. You get a little bit of a glint of a sheen. You can tell it's black, and it has some aspects of it that's kind of shiny. And it runs into one of these maintenance hatches. You see it. You can see that this maintenance hatch is open. What do? You're still, 50 meters or so away from what you just saw.
Well, then I guess my very first question is to ask: Are there more of them close by?
You do hear over the rattle of the wheels. This is an electric vehicle, so it's not making any noise itself, but the rattling of the wheels. You hear this loud shriek, and Darius, you might hear this too because you're back there. It's behind you. It seems to be pretty far. You don't see anything moving back there, Darius, but you hear this shriek. And then you hear sort of it's like an answering shriek ahead of you, beyond even what you just saw in the darkness ahead.
What do I do, boss?
Time to get frosty. Let's get that motion tracker, and let's get those weapons hot.
Do I just carry on driving at the same speed, or should I gun it?
I'm going to say the opposite. Slower right down to a crawl.
Oh, wow.
And I'll whisper to Noah, not until after we pass that hatch.
Yeah, I call out, "Sure thing, boss," and I slowly roll past. I roll past the hatch, like a fair 100 meters or so down the corridor, kind of thing.
Okay, so you do slow down. Maybe not quite a crawl, but more than foot speed, somewhere in there. And you move it along, and you roll past it. You look into the darkness, and you think you see a little bit of movement in there, and it seems to move away, though, farther into the darkness of this maintenance tunnel. And you roll by, and nothing happens.
I gradually pick up the speed, I guess, as we go.
Sure.
Building up as we go until we're back to sort of like a cruise speed with nothing.
Right. And Bryant, a short time later, maybe 10 minutes later, Bryant, you well, I think, we're approaching another one of these stations. As far as I can tell, we're maybe, it looks like you're maybe like 6 or 7 kilometers from the Weyland-Yutani base. You're getting along. You've been driving for now, maybe a couple hours in this underground. And Noah, you come around a corner, and luckily you're not going too fast, because ahead of you, maybe 30 meters ahead, is a blockage. The tunnel is collapsed. It's all rubble ahead. There's a big wall of rubble. And, you hit the brakes before you slam into it. And there you are in the dark. And, the beams are showing this wall of rubble, big chunks of concrete and earth that have all, collapsed this tunnel in front of you. What do you guys do?
On the map, is there any indication of any other, these maintenance tunnels that we've seen the hatches of? Is there any indication of where of them on the map? Can we get round this through these tunnels?
Yeah, it seems like it's clear that the tunnels, the subway tunnels that you've been riding in, they're lined with there's a maintenance tunnel that runs alongside of it. A small, access tunnel that allows you access to the machinery and the piping and the wiring that runs parallel to all of these tunnels that you've been driving in.
Let's back this up towards that service hatch that we just went through. Nasty it is. We're going to have to end up going through there, I think.
Okay. Alrighty. Let me get to where we're at.
I'm going to miss the car.
Yeah, I like the car.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys going to like get out of the car then and walk back to where you were, or are you going to go in reverse?
We'll drive back up there and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll have to reverse, won't you? We can't turn this thing around.
Yeah.
No, there's no way to. You can only turn it around at an actual station. So where you're at, shouldn't, I mean, looking at the map, Bryant, there should have been another station, not too far on the other side of this blockage. Hypothetically, there should be a station up there, not too much farther. But where you're at right now, you're really far away from any sort of underground station. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, one moment. Let me get some stuff ready here, because nothing's going to happen, but just in case. What I want you to do have you guys make an observation check. And what in this situation, so we know that Noah's our most observant person, so you're going to make that roll. I think given this moment, I think everybody's probably got their eyes looking around, so we'll give you the +2 for each of the characters. In fact, I'm going to give you a +3 because I think even Kyoko's looking around. So you're going to make an observation check at +3. However, your headlights aren't going to help you in this situation, so you're going to have a dim darkness effect. So that's a -1. So overall, aggregate, you're at what, +2? So make an go ahead.
If I change places with Darius and deploy the binoculars, would that help?
Not in this situation, no.
Well, I rolled with 3, unfortunately, but I do get 2 successes on it anyways, so I can just take the 1 success.
We'll just take off the last die. So yeah. We'll ride with that. So you got 2 successes. Let me do something. Okay. So you look back over your shoulder and you start put it in reverse, and you start to reverse this Jeep on this track. And you see that there are 2 dark shapes crawling on the ceiling behind you. And you catch maybe one of them, passes in front of one of these green lights. You get a bit of a glare, and it's got it's black, it's shiny, it's bulky, bigger than a person, and they're climbing on the ceiling like it's no problem at all. Like it's just like walking down the street, and you see them moving, stalking towards where you guys are before this blockage. We're going to move into initiative. Our first combat. All right, so in Alien, what we do first is we have to sort out initiative. So let me take you guys to another page here. All right, so I have to create an initiative order, and on this page, I call this our battle mat. We'll just kind of lay out all of our players. We've got Bryant, we've got Noah, we've got Darius, we have Kyoko. And we've got some baddies. All right. And on Roll20, you guys should, did you see a little turn order widget in the bottom left of your screen? So what I'm doing is I'm adding everybody to the turn order tracker. All right, so everybody's on our tracker now. Then what I do is, there's physical cards you use in this game for initiative, but we can do it in Roll20 by dealing. So I'm going to deal 1 card to turn order items. This should work. There we go. And then I'm going to put them in ascending order. So we have Bryant, then Darius, then a baddie, then Kyoko, then the baddies go 2 more times, and then Noah, you're last. Now the PCs, every turn, you guys have the option, as long as you can communicate together, to reorder who's going first, last, whatever. You can trade your initiative number with one of the other PCs. Does anybody wish to... Oop, lost Alan. Let's take a brief moment to get him a chance to come back.
I think it makes sense for the driver to be, I mean, maybe before Kyoko, I guess. If I can swap with her. But otherwise, I think it makes sense for Bryant and Darius to be the
To go first.
to be going off before me.
You can't flip with an NPC, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, then I still think it makes sense, you know?
Sorry about that. Shuffling windows.
Okay. I was just saying that the PCs at the start of each turn or round or whatever, you can switch your initiative number with one of the other PCs. So right now we have Bryant, then Darius, then later in the round we have Noah, or at the bottom of the round. So you guys can flip if you want, but Noah or Will was saying that it sounds like it's okay the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the situation again. So we have about 30 meters behind you are these figures crawling in the darkness. And Noah, your observation check allowed you to spot them before they sneak attacked you, basically. So you spotted them moving in this darkness, and Bryant, you're going first. So when it's your turn, you can do, you get a slow action. Actually, at the beginning of the round, you each are awarded a slow action and a fast action. And when it's your turn, you can spend your actions. There are also reasons that sometimes it's good to hold on to an action for later, because you can use it to block if something attacks you. If you have a firm, like a rifle, I think, Brian, you have a pulse rifle. So that would be big enough to, if something tried to attack you, if you save your fast action, maybe later in the round, you can use that to block something from hitting you. But otherwise, you can spend your actions as you please. If you go to the mechanics folder and you go down to actions, there's a list of all the different kinds of slow and fast actions. Slow actions are generally things where you roll the dice. And fast actions are things like moving, getting something out, getting a weapon out of a holster, you know, that kind of stuff. Bryant, we know you have a pulse rifle. So we'll say that you have a pulse rifle in one hand already, you know, sitting right there beside you. And I guess, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm just looking at command, because if I'm reading this right, I can use, I have field commander, which allows me to use command to give orders in combat as a fast action instead of a slow.
Right.
So in effect, I can give orders twice in a round as necessary. And if I'm right about this, give orders in combat as a slow action. You can bark orders to another character, given that's a fast action then.
Right.
They must be able to hear you even on comms radio. Roll command. For every 6 you roll, you get plus. They get +1 on their roll when carrying out your order. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I'm barking at Darius. Short burst control fire. Me left, you right.
Okay. So I should have mentioned too. So you get a slow and a fast action, but you can convert a slow action into a fast action. So with your power, usually when someone gives a command, it's a slow action, so it uses up your main function, your main action. But with your talent, you're allowed to use just a fast action to give a command. So you can do. You're going to use a fast action to tell Darius how to fire, and then you're left with a slow action. So let's go ahead.
And that slow action, I guess, is shoot firearm.
Shoot it. Okay. All right. So let's take care of the command first. So let's see how effective your command is. So this is a straight up command roll.
Okay. There's command.
Let me add one thing though. Seeing these things coming at you in the darkness, everybody gain a point of stress before we get too far.
Okay. So no modifiers on command. That's 2 hits. So that is success.
It'll give Darius 2 extra dice when if he does what you tell him to do. If he shoots the one on the left, right?
Me left, him right.
Okay. If he shoots the one on the right, he will get 2 extra dice. Alan, do one thing for me because I gave you that point of stress. Roll just 1 stress die for me.
Oh yeah. Okay. That'll just roll any d6 in effect.
Yeah. Okay, you're fine. All right. So let me make a note. Darius plus 2 dice. Shooting. All right, and then you're going to shoot. All right, so these things are at medium range. They're in dim light. So medium range gives you a -1. The dimness gives you a -1. So you're at -2. Now, the pulse rifle has the ability to fire full auto. If you fire full auto, you get to add 2 dice. But shooting full auto is dramatic, so you would also gain a point of stress.
Yeah, no, I think that we keep this controlled at this
short
point.
controlled burst, sure.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
Okay.
So a pulse rifle has got a natural bonus of 1 anyway, hasn't it?
That's right.
Oh,
So,
right.
Alan, if you have the stats for the pulse rifle on your sheet,
I do.
Then all you need to do you have the RC button highlighted on your?
I do.
Okay. All you got to do is push that attack button. Put in a -2 for the modifiers, and then submit. And that should shoot our pulse rifle.
Sorry. There it is, -2.
All right. So you got a face hugger. Let's do that panic first. You don't have a lot of stress, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, you hold it together. Now the way we do ammo in Alien is we don't track bullets, but if you get a face hugger on a shot, it means you've used up your magazine. So you fire a little uncontrolled, despite everything you said, you fire uncontrolled and you use up all your ammo. So your gun is empty right now. So keep that in mind. But you did get a hit. So you're going to do 2 damage to this creature. And the pulse rifle has armor piercing. So I'm going to roll the armor for this creature. And this creature is our pack hunter. I think, Will, you called them the Telvin monkeys. So this is a xenomorph Telvin monkey that you guys are battling. I'm going to roll base dice 3. For each hit you get on armor, it takes away 1 of the points of damage. It got 1 hit on its 3 dice. So it reduces the damage from 2 to 1. So this Telvin monkey monstrosity takes a point of damage. And this, you hit it, you can tell you hit it, you pierce it, you see a spray of this greenish slime, fly off of it. I think you're done. So Darius, you are up.
Okay, so I'm getting -2, but I get +2 from Bryant. So
Right.
that's
Now,
level.
before you roll, let me ask you a couple other things.
Yep.
You're going to shoot your pulse rifle, it sounds like. You're aiming for the other one. And so you have a slow and a fast action. So you start your turn, you have both of them. You're going to use your slow action to fire. You can save your fast action for something else. Or one of the things you can do as fast actions is you can aim, which will give you 2 extra dice. Do you want to do that?
No, I'm going to save the fast action if I need to defend.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. So you get, now the next question is, do you want to fire full auto?
No, I'll because I wouldn't get the +2. It was controlled.
Nah, I'd let it slide. I'd still give it to you.
Happy to conserve ammo.
Okay. All right. So then you are click attack with your pulse rifle, and you have -2.
But +2 from
+2 from him. So even up. Yep.
Okay, here we go. Get some. Get some.
Oh, that's a real good hit. All right. So you've got the first success gives you the hit, and then if you go to range combat, the handout for that, you've got 2 stunts you can do. Now you also have the option of pushing it if you want to get even more hits. Let me ask you that first. Do you want to push to go for even more, or are you happy with 3?
I'm happy with 3.
Okay. All right. So if you go to mechanics, you go to skills and stunts for ranged combat. You got 2 other successes that you can use as stunts. For each of those, you could just add a point of damage, or you could pin down, which would take away the slow action for this creature on its turn. You could exchange initiative with it, but though you're already going in front of it, so that doesn't really apply here. You can cause it to drop something, or in this case, I would say you can knock it off the wall, have it drop. Or I guess that would also apply for the next one, which is your opponent falls to the ground or push it back.
I'm going to put all that into extra damage.
Okay. So you get 2 damage from the pulse rifle, plus 2 extra damage from your extra hits. So you're doing 4 damage to this thing. Let me roll its armor. You have an armor-piercing pulse rifle, so it only gets 3 dice. Of armor. It did get a hit, so it reduces it by 1, but you got a very solid hit. Acid sprays all over, or green slime sprays all over. But it's still coming. This thing took a solid hit that would have killed a person for sure, but it's tough, obviously. Now, we have a bad guy go. Now, these things move incredibly fast. It sprints along the wall all the way to, let's see, right above you. And then it uses its slow action to do that, and then it uses its fast action to drop down onto the top of this sort of the cab. The Jeep has sort of like a roll bar, so it's kind of like it runs up and it drops right above where you are, Noah. And it's kind of like looking down, and it's got this mouth with this slime dripping out, and you see that little mouth inside. And I got a picture of these, by the way. Let me pull that out. And then the second one does the same thing, but it drops down onto the bed where where Darius and Kyoko and Sitka are. Let me find the picture I using for these. Oops. There it is. Telvin monkeys. How's that look, Will? Does that look close at all to what you're imagining?
It looks horrific, so yeah. Sure.
So that is their turn, just running up and dropping onto your truck. Next up is Kyoko. Kyoko will, with one elegant motion, whip out the stun baton you gave her and try to hit this thing. That's in the back.
I think the turn order, by the way, is specific to the battle map page because we've lost it now.
Let me take you back to it. that's not it. There we go. Is it back now? Okay. So we are down to Kyoko now on 7. So she's going to pull out this stun baton and try to hit this thing. Kyoko, close combat. I think the stun baton gives a +1. I don't have that. Here, I can do it real quick. Put the stun baton 1. She has to do a power supply roll for the stun for the power of this thing. She's fine. All right, so she's going to try to hit it. Attack. Submit. All right, Kyoko hits it solidly. This is the one. I'm going to say it was the one. This is the one that was on the right. Who shot the one on the right? Was that you, Bryant?
No, I'm
You're
left. I think it's more likely to be mine, to be honest.
You think it's the one in the back of the truck is the one that you were shooting at?
I think given that I had less impact, I think mine should have gone further.
Okay.
So I think mine's on the cab, and
Yeah,
then
that makes
Darius's
sense.
drops in the cab.
All right, so she hits it very solidly. She's going to be tricky. So she's going to do she gets a stunt. So I'm looking at the close combat stunts. I think one of them is knockback. Let me make sure. Close combat, knocked to the ground. Okay. So it comes flying down and she hits it in midair and she knocks it like off, into the back, and it falls to the ground. And acid sprays from it, but because she knocked it away, it's not going to hit any of you guys.
But we and our audience will see the effect,
Right?
because we need to fear it.
Exactly. You see the acid like digging or eating away into the maybe like the metal of the track and the metal of the ties or the base of the foundation of this track that you're driving on. One quick thing. All right. And between the pulse rifle and this mash, she bashes its head right in. This thing is collapsed. It's a total mess. It stops moving immediately. She's taking this thing out. Now the creature gets to go twice, and it is hovering over you, Noah. It is going to try to attack you. Noah, when monsters attack in this game, we roll a d6 to see what kind of attack they do. They have various different sorts of attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling low is not so bad. Rolling high is real bad. Do you want me to roll that d6, or would you rather have your fate in your own hands?
No, you roll it. It's fine.
All right. Here we go. D6. I got a 4. I rolled off your sheet, though, for some reason. Okay, on a 4... It lands on top of this roll bars of this Jeep, and it whips its tail around and tries to sting you, between these bars. And there's maybe a little bit of like steel grating, that gives you a little bit of like cover, and it tries to like whip around and hit you with this tail.
Can I block and use the vehicle kind of as the like twisting around in the seat kind of, and like trying to keep the bars between me and it?
Yeah, I like that. Sure, that makes sense. So you're going to make a roll here in a second. Let me see what I need to do. 8 dice. Okay.
So much for Noah.
All right, it got 1 hit, so it's going to stab you with its tail. Now you can make a close combat attack. That's how you do the block. It uses up one of your fast actions.
Cool, I'll do that. That's a face hugger on that, and I can't push it, so that means
No.
I take
All
a hit,
right.
I guess.
Roll your panic first. See what happens. You're trying to block it, by moving, behind one of these bars.
Everyone takes a point of stress.
Yep, that's tremble. Is that what it's called?
That's
Twitch.
Yeah.
So you gain a point of stress, and everybody nearby gains a point of stress. So all of you
Yeah.
guys get a point of stress.
I don't think we have to explain why this is stressful.
No. And you get stabbed by this tail.
Oof.
And you take a point of damage. So on your character sheet, you would, unclick one of your health button, one of your little health boxes.
Mm-hmm.
When you take damage, you take another point of stress. So give yourself a point of stress for taking damage.
Okay.
Then some sort of chemicals injected into your body. You need to make a stamina check for me.
Okay.
Stamina uses strength, I believe.
That's a success.
Okay.
Oh, my stress dice, so.
It still counts.
Okay.
So that allows you, you start to feel yourself getting really groggy. You're going to be able to function for one more round before you pass out. You could push this, though, to try to stay awake longer if you want.
Yeah, I'll push that.
Okay,
So
so add a point of stress, then re-roll. Although you're not going to roll, you keep the one die that you already had a success on, kind of put it, if we were playing with dice, you'd put it off to the side.
Yeah, and then re-roll
So really you're going to roll 4 black dice and 4 yellow dice is what we want to see. We'll ignore the last stress die. So 2 more successes. You're going to stay awake for 3 rounds. Let me make a note of that then. Noah, 3 rounds awake. All right. So that was its first turn. Unfortunately, these things are incredibly fast. They get to go yet again. So it's going to attack you again. So Noah, I'm going to roll another d6.
Okay.
I mean, for what it's worth, Bryant is also in the front, remember?
That's true. Yeah, let's share the wealth. Let's let Bryant. Good idea, Alan. Good idea. So let's roll a d6 for you. See how you see what it does to you as it stabs at Noah. It kind of it knows that Noah. It's just a matter of time before Noah's easy prey. So Bryant, you're going to roll for yourself. You got a 2, and a 2 means that this creature. Okay. It kind of it doesn't have eyes, but you see it as it stabs Noah. It's just kind of like hunkered down, gets up close to where you're at, as close as it can, through this steel grating, and a little bit of that slime drips down on you. You kind of are captivated for a moment, and you don't see the other one burst out of the rubble in front of the Jeep and land on the front of the Jeep. So now you have a third one that's on the front. Thunk, it lands. And that's all it does this turn. Let's see. You do gain a point of stress, Bryant, at seeing this thing, contemplating your mortality, and you do have to make a panic check. Bryant got a 7, so that's the tremble. So everybody get a point of stress. It's building up. Okay, last person, Noah. So you've used one of your fast actions, so you have a slow action left. Driving the truck is a fast action. Driving the Jeep.
Well, they're all on the car now, right?
Right. You got like one above you, kind of looking down at Bryant, and you've got another one on like the hood, the front of the Jeep.
I slam on the accelerator, and we're gunning it forward now, like away from this wreckage, this rubble that we can't pass through, and with the hope of
that's actually reverse, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's reverse. Sorry, yeah.
You're going away from the rubble.
Yeah, well, this one lands on the front hood of the car, and I slam the reverse down, and suddenly we pick up loads of speed backwards. Yeah.
Okay. Are you trying to shake them off if you can?
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah.
Sure. What we're going to do is we're going to do an opposed roll. You're going to do your piloting versus their mobility to see if you can knock these things off. Okay.
Okay.
So let me. So you're going to make a piloting check. No modifiers, just straight up piloting check. Okay. You probably don't have any piloting skill, but you use your agility. Oh, that's pretty good. 2 successes. Let me tell you. Let me see if you're actually going to need more. They're pretty agile. Oh, look. Oh, that's no, I messed up. They shouldn't have that many dice. They have a lot of dice, but not that many. Let me redo that. I don't know. Why didn't that work? Should only be 10 dice. Only 10 dice.
Do you want to just take the first 10 dice off there?
There we go. So you succeeded. You hit it, going full speed in reverse, and these things topple off. You leave them. It's in game. It's 3 zones away. So you go zooming high speed in reverse. These things topple off. They're left there, kind of standing there. And I think, in the interest of time, we're kind of up to the start of a new round. This is probably a good time to call it for today. We're not going to finish this combat today, but we leave you with you guys speeding at high speed. With you kind of crunch over that other one that collapsed, on the train track. You crunch that one, and you go zooming backwards. And your headlights show the other 2 stand up and start to tear ass after you.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Given that we have run over the debris of that one, as we do so, the camera focuses on the wheels as they begin to steam and the acid rot works through them.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to that side duct, we're running on hubs.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'll make a note that there's an acid mechanic in this game. I'll make an acid roll for the truck. Or for the Jeep.
I'm going to pass out before we get to, maybe by the time we get to that.
Right. Yeah, you've got 2 more rounds awake. All right. Okay, so we're left in a high tension moment. Let me get a drink, breathe for a second. First of all, is anyone not comfortable sharing this on YouTube? Okay. We're going to do the advancement mechanic, and then take a moment to see if you guys have any stars and wishes. Stars are things that were cool, that were exciting, things you saw people do that you really tickled you, and wishes are things that you would like to see done differently, or things that you would like to see more of in the future. So think of that as we do these other couple things. Or I guess the other thing is the mechanic, or not the mechanic, the advancement. So if you go to mechanics, the very last handout is called advancement. And we did this last time. So today, first step, you can add 1 point to any skill that you use today. We used a fair variety of skills today, so I'll leave that to you guys. Just change the number in the circle for the skill from whatever you have now to that number plus 1. And I'm curious, let me know what you chose.
I've increased observation.
Okay.
Range combat.
That's stupid. Yeah, no, I'm going to go for range combat. What am I thinking? What mad world was I believing I lived in?
I'm going to go with combat.
Close combat? Okay. It says combat, but that's it should say close combat.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds good. Do you feel as though any of your buddy rival designations have changed today? Or stick with what you got? Okay. Yeah. And the last thing, you guys have each survived 2 sessions, so now you can choose a new talent. There is, on this handout, there's a long list of what we call general talents. There's a bunch of them. Feel free to read through those right now. You can do it between sessions, whatever you like. You can choose from one of these general talents, and then on your character generation, you had 3 talents that you chose from. You chose one of those, but you could choose one of those other 2 that were on your actual designated for your character. So you can choose from those 2 or one of these under general talents. Add a talent. You would just copy paste this onto your character sheet. I think I think it has a tab system for talents. Yeah, so talents work the same as weapons. You can just click Roman numeral 2 and put in your next talent on your character sheet whenever you feel like.
I think I'll give that a bit of thought, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It is a very long list.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of neat ones. So yeah, give it a little bit of time. Look it through is my suggestion. Find one that really fits what you're looking for. There's all kinds of neat things that the talents can let you do. So yeah, check those all out. But like I said, I don't know if I have them. Actually, under character generation, the very first handout, I think it includes each of the careers and the talents that go with them. So between the character generation handout and the advancement handout, you have all of the different possible talents that you guys can choose from. So, do that now, do it later, whatever you guys like. Let's take a minute. Let's go around the table and share some stars and wishes. You can do both at the same time, or if you're pass or do part of one, or whatever order you feel comfortable with. I think Paul, we're going to pick on you first this time. Do you have any stars or wishes for us?
Yeah, I just from both Bryant and Noah, the continual bickering between you guys. Yeah. I like that.
Cool. Alan, what about you?
Yeah, I'd like to. I think that we saw Darius begin to be the Marine, and I was really pleased when he followed my order.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some mileage in that, without making me roll. And yeah, well, Will, this is a thank you to you, really, because I keep forgetting about the bloody chill pills. So thank you for that. And Jason, for you, I think that again, I am in awe of your preparation.
Thank you. And Will, what do you got for us?
I liked Darius blowing the hell out of that alien and then not dying, and I like the whole the strategy, the planning. Like, it felt like we were moving, kind of we're not complete civvies kind of thing. We're like have some sort of plan rather than just blind panic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, like what Alan said, Jason. I mean, there must be a million things prepared if this is what happens when we go down the tunnels, right?
Right. Yeah, I love to do prep. I like to create adventures that I know you guys aren't going to experience 2/3 of what I've written up, and which is fine, and for me, my wish is that I did it today. I think it's the right thing to do. I cut out a lot of points where I could have, we could have had some friction and had other events, but I think it's better to keep things moving. So I'm glad we got to a point where we get some combat. I think combat is a little time consuming, like we did the first round. It does speed up. You'll find, as you guys get more familiar with how the actions system works, I think each turn will get a little faster, but it is a bit time consuming, but it is a lot of fun. We'll sort that out more. Obviously, we'll start next session kind of right in the middle of it. Stars, all your characters are still, developing really nicely. The interactions. Like when you're out of combat, I think it's somewhat realistic too. Like out of combat, you guys were very, in each other's faces and, needling each other. But in the heat of the moment, like I forget who it was that said it, but like you guys show this teamwork, you show this cooperation, which makes sense too. It shows that, you're professionals, you're not totally overwhelmed by the moment. So you guys are all capturing that really nicely.
Well, that's true of Darius and me. Obviously, I know where I'm less convinced about.
Right. Any other stars or wishes? Anything else you want to say or ask about?
Yeah, I mean, wishes, more of the same. I think that mix between high octane action and then those moments when there's a chance to engage with the rival and buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm curious, how many stress do you guys all have at this point? That's another thing, sort of like 5 and 6, and only 3 because you took a pill. And that's about right. It sounds about right. I mean, it should be getting in this game, like a lot of games that use a stress mechanic, like you want to pace it, like where you want it to build, but you don't want characters to be completely stressed out, because you'll reach a point. You're not there yet, but you'll reach a point where you just can't do anything without panicking.
All that needs to happen is you need to get stabbed by an alien, and suddenly you'll be at 6 stress, right?
Right. All right, guys, it was a lot of fun today. I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully, Jammy will be able to make it. We'll get our full crew.
I'm keen Jammy's here just to have a wake up in the middle of this.
Oh God! As we're driving backwards at like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
As Noah drifts off.
Yeah. At the wheel. Yeah.
Luckily,
Yeah,
we're
that'll
on
be cool.
tracks, so apart from slowing down, I don't think we're going to veer off into anything.
Probably not. There are a lot of twists and turns in this thing, though. So, like, as you've been driving, Noah, you'd have to brake every once in a while because you'd hit these tight turns. So it's not a straight. It's not there is a danger of going right off the track. So keep that in mind. Or we'll play that out next time. All right, guys, have a good day. I will see you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.